Oi, this is the Profanity Gnome, and I'm here to tell you that if you're under 13 years old, fuck off this video! Get the fuck off YouTube! Get your mama to get your dad's cock out of her ears and actually be a parent! This is for adults only! And for everybody else, enjoy the video. And don't forget to like and subscribe and comment below what you think, you fuck buckets. To stand out among the crowd, even if I gotta shout out loud, till mine is the only face that you see. Gonna stand out till you notice me.
Ho-ho! Why, hello, gents! What a great pleasure for you to finally meet me!
Hi? Who are you exactly?
Get a load of that, Scrooge. He doesn't know who I am. Oh, he's the funny dumb one. I'm Dickney Rat, and I own everything. And soon, I'm going to offer you the contract of a lifetime. How would you like to come work for Disney?
What?
That's right. I, the great Dickney Rat, am giving you the chance of a lifetime. An exclusive membership to the House of Mouse itself, which includes big movie deals, merchandise with your faces on it, and fans the world over. You could have your own MCU. You could have your own TV show and spin-offs. You can have it all. And all you need do is sign the dotted line and agree to all terms and services accompanying by the contract. But that's just minor details that we can just sort out later. Hi!
It says here that you'll be taking everything. Everything that makes us unique. Our ship, our ideas, even our names and souls. Care to explain that?
Well, that's just standard for every contract. I gotta reap some benefits from this too, you know. Right?
Group huddle! Okay, I know that bad stuff does sound bad, but this could be our big break that we've been hoping for. Yeah, but selling our souls, our names, all creative freedoms? Does that sound like a good trade? I've been making deals for centuries, and I know a bad con when I hear it. I think we're gonna need everybody else's input on this. This is Beware the Buddy system. The episode begins in a vaguely familiar city, as a jack-in-the-box is being used as an explosive device to destroy the city bank. But who would have the balls to rob such a bank? Why, none other than Quackerjack? Liquidator? Megavolt? No, they couldn't possibly be leading up to...
I am Darkwing Duck!
Okay, stop the episode. You don't need to show me anymore. No, nothing in this episode is ever going to top this opener. Not only after 20 years of being off the air, not only the return of the Caped Crusader that flaps in the night, but also his original voice actor? And on top of that, an action-packed fight between 3 of the big 4 nostalgic villains of Darkwing Duck. There's nothing this episode can do to top this. I mean, they're certainly gonna try, but nothing is going to top these first few minutes of the return of Darkwing Duck. Bravo! Bravissimo! You have succeeded. This is truly Darkwing Duck. But I guess they need to fill another 20 minutes or so. So it is revealed that the Darkwing Duck that they're watching is actually a TV show in their universe. And Launchpad, coincidentally, is a huge fan of it. Like, in later seasons, it becomes his entire character. He's a fan of Darkwing Duck, and he's showing it off to his best friend, Dewey. And apparently, they're going with the background that it's actually a show. Fun fact about Darkwing Duck, he doesn't have an official origin story, because the show wanted to keep the mystery of his characters to the point, so they made up 4 or 5 different origin stories. So I guess this one's going with the TV show version. It makes sense given the context. So the episode appears to be about Launchpad, as he is excited that he's got his driver's license. Even though he's the personal driver of Scrooge McDuck, he didn't have a license. Does Scrooge not do background checks on people? He hired Satan. Hey! Okay, that's true. So he's excited, so excited that he even mailed the driver's license to Scrooge McDuck to celebrate it. But when Launchpad arrives, Scrooge seems to be busy doing other things. As Scrooge is talking to his chief scientist and engineer, Dr. Gearloose, we also get the introduction of yet another new character. A character named Fenton. Fenton is Gearloose's intern, who is unpaid, treated horribly, and has the perfect superhero origin story. And considering we just saw Darkwing Duck, there's a pretty obvious connection of where this is heading. But I'll let the episode play out. Well, as Scrooge is talking about some new ideas for inventions that Gearloose could work on, Dewey recommends a self-driving car. Gearloose says that that's almost impossible to do, since the AI required would be beyond his connections, but apparently Mark Beeks has already figured it out. Oh, this sends Dr. Gearloose in a tizzy, and they all decide to investigate Mark Beeks' proposal on his self-driving car. And as far as the license is concerned, Scrooge really couldn't care less, hurting Launchpad's pride.
Meow!
It is rather shocking, though I guess something like this would happen eventually.
Can't remain indie forever.
But fame, fortune, connections, this is what we were working for all this time, wasn't it? And here it is, offered on a silver platter. It's the jumpstart, right? This is the true song of our story, right? I don't know about you, but I'm 100% against this. Creative thought, individual opinions, the freedom to choose our lives for ourselves. Disney doesn't care at all about that. They just care about maximizing their profits. And make no mistake, they will change the fundamentals of our own show to suit their needs. We've seen it happen. We know how it'll go down. No matter what they offer, it's probably not worth the price. But in the end, young Master's the one who must decide. Where is he, anyway? So we cut to Mark Beeks, as he's unveiling his self-driving car, or rather, robot that drives the car. An artificial intelligence that's super advanced. But of course, there are protesters. Launchpad, who is a driver himself, and Dr. Gearloose, who says that it couldn't be done, and that he's a fraud. He just needs to prove it. But Scrooge is actually interested in the technology, wanting to buy it off of him, despite knowing full well he is indeed a fraud, and that this couldn't possibly be his. That's when Launchpad proposes the idea of a race between Duck versus Machine. Who is the better and superior driver? And they accept these terms, because it'd be great publicity. So it's gonna be a full John Henry story. But later that night, they don't seem as confident in winning as they originally proposed, as Dewey and Launchpad begin searching Gearloose's lab for any type of advantage, when they get gothed by, oh, it's the Headless Man Horse. Haven't seen you since episode 1. How's it been, buddy? I guess he's a full-time good guy now, as well as a intern for Dr. Gearloose. Well, that's when Launchpad and Gearloose have the conversation about aid, but Gearloose is too busy. So he sends his intern, Fenton, to be the bitch boy and help out Launchpad. And he's more than happy to help him out by giving him all kinds of ideas and gadgets to try to soup up the ride. But they're not interested in that, and he just wants driving advice. But don't worry, Fenton is on the case. I like Fenton. He's a real go-getter. Possible makings of a gent. We'll see about that. So in comes the race. Gearloose has posted many a sticky note to help Launchpad in giving him advice, though admittedly the biggest one being having clear line of sight, which he no longer has. But doesn't matter, the race is about to begin, and with encouragement from his Darkwing Duck bobblehead, by God I want that, the race begins. Launchpad, though, immediately crashes. and tries again and crashes. Tries again and crashes. And through a series of crashes, he loses. And the robot wins. And Scrooge immediately wants to buy a bunch of them. That is, until Gearloose exposes the robot for the fraud he is. That's not Harvey Binks technology, it's bulb tech. Yep, Mark Beaks is once again proven to be a fraud, as it's clearly shown that he had stolen the technology from Dr. Gearloose. But Beaks says that he's innocent because he found the schematics online and reverse engineered it. But wait, how did the information get leaked on the internet? Oh, it was none other than Fenton, who wanted somebody to help him work out the kinks in the fact that his inventions turn evil. In which Gearloose, upon being restrained from outright killing Fenton, tells him he's fired. And so, the two bros are at their lowest points. Scrooge doesn't even go back home with the Launchpad in his car, as they choose to drive home in the Bulb Tech car, which is technically Harvey or Mark Beaks' car, which is again technically Dr. Gearloose's technology. And I'm sure he's got copyright infringement and they can easily sue. I think that's why Scrooge isn't too worried. He's gonna sue Mark Beaks for all he's worth. That is, if he survives, since the robot has turned evil. Oh, why do I have to be the one to decide? Because technically this is all your team. But we always did things together. Besides, Rhino's older, he's more mature and in charge. True, but the show's called The Gentleman, your name is Gent, and the entire thing is Gent Quests. You're branding all over it. You're the one who decides its fate. That's too much pressure! Heavy is the head that wears the top hat. Oi, you two, what's wrong with Gent Boy? Well, Olga, we just got approached by a very tempting offer from Disney, and now we're wondering whether or not it would be a good idea to sign on. Oh, is that all? Okay, scoot over. Let me tell you the story. My bar not always good looking as it is now. It was started by great-grandfather many years ago in old country. Only had enough money for 3 tables and 2 chairs between them. It wasn't great, but it was ours. That's when we worked hard. We had laughs, we had cries. It was good time. We soon created our own image out of it. And soon people began showing up. More and more the business grew. We were able to do more things, have more laughs, have more praise. But then came big corporation. They saw us and wanted to buy us out. We had choice to make. They wanted to turn bar into fast food restaurant and make part of big chain. Grandpa said no. They tried offer money. They declined. He tried offering a lot of money. He still declined. Soon, corporation, they begin pressure. They begin lots and lots of dirty tactics. But Grandpa, he stood his ground. And he wouldn't let them bully him. Soon, voice of people was heard, and corporation eventually backed off, not wanting to sink cost. And now, we have bar as good as is today. So, what you're saying is we shouldn't take the deal? What I'm saying is everybody got choice. They can either pull up bootstraps and make things their own way, without it being harder, or they could take deal and let somebody else call shots for all wealth. It's ultimately up to individual. What does your moral compass point to? Well, we cut to Launchpad and Fenton sitting on the roof of their failures and trying to figure out what they should do next. When all of a sudden, Fenton gets a glimpse that their friends are in trouble. Friends and / employers. And Launchpad ain't gonna let that slide, so he takes his damaged car and drives off with it in order to try to rescue them. Meanwhile, Fenton knows that there's only one way to rescue him, so he gives Manny a call and activates a special code that sends a special robotic suit in their direction. And as Launchpad is still trying to rescue Dewey, Fenton suits up in his own unique suit. And we finally, after a long time, not only get the return of Darkwing Duck, but also the incredible superhero, Gizmo Duck! Which I gotta say, I am loving the new design. Before, it was essentially a microwave with robot parts around it. Now he's gone full Iron Man, or Iron Duck. Is that a thing? I'm gonna make it a thing. So, with Gizmo Duck now employed, he manages to rescue everybody in the nick of time. But, even though he saved everybody, now comes the robot, who, unfortunately, stops Fenton in his tracks. But don't worry, Launchpad knows what to do, and does the one move he knows better than anyone, crash, sending the robot to his death, and the day is saved once again by Gizmo and Launchpad. So then we cut to later on that evening. Launchpad is sorry for everything, telling Scrooge that if he wants a robot driver, he's more than welcome to have one. But Scrooge gives him a vote of confidence, saying that he doesn't want a robot chauffeur, he wants Launchpad, because Launchpad is the only driver crazy enough, stupid enough, and ridiculous enough to join him on his adventures, reassuring him that no matter what, he'll always have a place in the driver's seat. Meanwhile, Fenton manages to get his job back, with Dr. Gearloose wanting to use him more as a lab rat test subject than anything else. And so, that's that. Episode ending. Well, almost. We get one final shot where Mark Beeks finally reveals that he can be villainous when he wants to, as he now is on the manhunt for Gizmo Duck. And that was Beware the Buddy System. Is it good? Is it bad? Well, if we discount everything from the opening, it was serviceable. We get the returning characters of Mark Beeks, Dr. Gearloose, Launchpad, as well as the introduction of new characters like Fenton, as well as the recreation of a long-standing favorite character, Gizmo Duck. It was very much a John Henry episode with a few small twists. With the introduction of Fenton and as well as Gizmo Duck to the universe, the door has been officially opened for superheroes in the Duckverse. It's also nice seeing that Launchpad and the other side characters are getting some love. Dr. Gearloose has barely been seen, so it's nice to see his personality always at work. His I'm better than you, and you do what I say, not as I do personality, and of course, his treatment of others. Fenton is also a nice welcome back. Even though this is the first time we've seen him, this is the first integration of the character since the original show. And honestly, he's serviceable. It's also nice finally seeing Mark Beeks finally starting to embrace his true role as the bad guy. But let's be real, people. There's no way anything in this episode could top the performance at the very opener. Darkwing Duck making his fantastic debut, even as a TV show character in-universe, to the small screen is more than a welcome sight. Especially since they got the original voice actor to voice the character. So he at least knows what he's doing. And they got the character spot on, even in the few short minutes that he was on screen. Let me be clear, Darkwing Duck stole the show in an episode with the return of Gizmo Duck. Let that one sink in. And from the sounds of it, Darkwing Duck is still going to play a part in this universe, no matter how big or small. And I can't wait to see what they do with him in the future. I'm more excited about that than the actual story with Gizmo Duck. So with that being said, we're the Cartoon Gentlemen. See you next time.
wonder what is taking them so long. Oh, hey, you're here! Oh, and you brought the whole gang! Well, jolly gee, that's great! Now, just come up here and we'll get this thing done. If you don't have a pen, don't worry, I have enough to share. Just go ahead and sign the contract and...
Yeah, we were discussing that. And we decided we're going to not take this deal.
What? What do you mean?
He's telling you no. We refuse to sign the contract.
Has no one ever told you no before?
What is that word? Just German? Is that German for yes? I know a lot of German.
Oh, for pity's sakes, we're not signing the contract!
What? But why?
Well, all the money and the fame and the fortunes and the popularity do sound nice.
But sacrificing our creative freedom is too high of a price. And we all agree on that.
But.
Nope. We've all unanimously decided. We are not joining Disney. We are going to stay separate.
And unless you have some sort thing else to say, our business here is over.
No one says no to me!
To stand out
among the crowd, even if I gotta shout out loud, till mine is the only face that you see on a stand out.
Till you notice me.